Hello, I'm Bryan Painter, columnist of the Oklahoman, and today I'm joined by Dr. Vahap Uysal, a volunteer with the Institute of Interfaith Dialogue. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
First, please explain the purpose of the Institute of Interfaith Dialogue.
Institute of Interfaith Dialogue was established by a group of Turkish-American Muslims in Houston in year 2002. Basically, it promotes interfaith dialogue to solve world problems such as education, violence, hunger problem, environmental crisis. Because all of the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Moses, peace upon them, indicate that we need to work to solve problems. These problems are too big to solve individually. So we need to work together with the motivation of teachings of these prophets so that we can have a better future.
Thank you. Next, if you would, please talk about how this role of this organization can play with assisting minority faiths.
So basically, in the age of globalization, information transfers at the light of speed. So does the disinformation. So what happens here in Oklahoma has direct impact on the other side of the ocean. So even though there is minority faith groups here in Oklahoma, what they do, they have impact in other parts of the world. And so they are not anymore minority groups in the global sense. So they need to show up, they need to show their voices to indicate what they are doing and how they are doing. Because as a human being, we don't like what we do not know. To the extent that these minority faith groups do not express themselves, people are always skeptical about these groups. But to the extent that they can work together with others, people and the community is more perceptive to accept them. And minority groups in Oklahoma are becoming more visible than ever. And it is important to them to recognize the globalization and also recognize that they need to interact with other groups so that they can work together. So Institute of Interfaith, in this case, what it does is that it basically brings minority faith groups as well as major faiths together. So it gives them a chance, the chance that the faithfuls can get together, have dinner together. Mm-hmm. And if we can break bread together, there's no problem that we cannot solve. So Institute of Interfaith Dialogue basically creates a platform for these minority faith groups to get together and work together to solve common problems of the world.
So communication and education.
Yes, communication, education, and personal contact. Because even though we read, there is no match to talking with the faithful of another religion. And once we get together, we understand that we are all human beings. We are worried about our children. We are worried about their education. We are worried about environment. So if these are the common problems that we face, why don't we work together to solve these problems? And Institute of Interfaith Dialogue basically recognizes this and basically indicates suggests for each group to get together to solve these problems with their own teachings and without converting to other religion necessarily.
Thank you very much for coming in today.
My pleasure.